All right, we already did the notes for Chapter 4, Lesson 8, but here's a couple examples here, extra examples you can take a look at. They have a couple different extra things that the others didn't. Both of the other two examples were very similar in nature, other than um, one was in standard form, and then the second one was in vertex form. So third example, again in standard form. So when we graph these, again, we're using Desmos. We're just putting this in Desmos. So bring up Desmos here. Already got the equation put in there. You can see all these good points that we have. So vertex is 0.5 and negative 3.5. You can see my x-intercepts here at negative 0.8 and 1.8. And again, you're just going to estimate those values on your graph. The y-intercept here at negative 3. So let's get those points onto our graph. So vertex here, 1/2 and negative 3.5. The y-intercept was at negative 3, reflected across there. Again, we always have the axis of symmetry going through our vertex there. So there's that axis of symmetry line. Everything gets reflected across that line. And then we can put on those x-intercepts here. So negative 0.8 and positive 1.8. And again, those are just estimated. It is just greater than. Y is greater than that. So this is going to be a dotted line. It's going to be a little harder to draw maybe. But again, this is a dotted line because it's not included in my solution. Okay, so y is greater than, again, you can always pick values and plug them in. So if I'm not sure, good value to plug in is 0, 0. If I plug 0 in here, like 0 greater than, again, this gives me 0, this is 0, so I end up with negative 3. So it's 0 greater than negative 3? Yes, it is. So my shading should go inside where that 0, 0 point is. Again, y is also greater than, so I can go on this graph at the vertex, greater than, y is greater than, so I'm going above. So shading inside that circle again. So we can just draw some lines, get our shading inside, and there's our graph. Let's take a look at one more example here. So we have y greater than or equal to negative 4x squared plus 12x minus 7. Again, bring up Desmos. I already have that put in. Bring it up here. We can see our good points here. 1.5, 2 is my vertex. Again, about 0.8 and 2.2 for the intercepts. Y intercept here is negative 7. And again, it's going upside down. So let's get these points up on our graph and then see where we needed to shade. So vertex 1.5, 2. Y-intercept was negative 7. X-intercepts were about 0.8 and about 2.2, right around in there. And again, we have this axis of symmetry, so from that y-intercept, I can take a look and you can see it's about 1.5. So if I go 1.5, there's my next point. So now y is greater than or equal to, so again, now we're going back to a solid line. So solid lines here. And I missed my lines there, that's okay though. The y is greater than, so again, if I go to that vertex, where's y greater than? Greater's up above, so it's shaded everywhere outside here. So I'm shading outside that parabola on this graph. Okay, so that one's a little different, where we shaded outside. Everything else was shaded inside that parabola. But again, you can shade in either direction. Again, you can also plug in, if I'm not sure where to shade, I can plug in that 0, 0 point, and I would have 0 greater than equal to. Again, this is 0, 0, and I'm left with a negative 7. 0 is greater than negative 7, so you can see I shaded outside where that 0, 0 point was. All right, so those are a couple extra examples for Chapter 4, Lesson 8.